The NXT universe was looking for trouble, and they got it. We're going to show you why our podcast is in the top 1% on tonight's episode of the NX3 After Show. See you in a sec.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boys. We got a couple of beefy boys right here for the NXT After Show, right here on AfterBuzz TV. I'm Donica. That's Bill Hanstock. We're going to get right into the show. The hobo's not joining us tonight because he's currently training at the New Japan Dojo, and
that's an okay excuse.
It's fine, I guess. But hopefully we'll be able to. I'm not sure what his plans are for New Orleans, but he may be here next week. He may not. We may be here next week. We may not. But we'll let you know. For those of you who are watching live, we had an issue with the chat browser, which has since been fixed. So refresh your page, join the chat, because we got a couple of great people in chat letting us know what they thought about tonight's NXT episode, and we want to hear what you thought too. Bill, this is a pretty big announcement episode. Overall, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's big boy. It's got almost everything in place for Takeover, which is good because we may not be here next week. Spoilers. Yeah, you know, typical 2 weeks to Mania Takeover sort of thing, where it's like, let's get all of our ducks in a row and hype the big matches. And yeah, lots of as you noted, you know, we went 20 minutes into this episode before we got a match.
Yeah.
And then one match, like 2 matches were super duper short. 3 matches are super duper short. So yeah, it was mostly a storyline episode, but that's fine. The storylines are good.
Yeah, I mean, with the show starting with Tommaso Ciampa coming into Booze and ultimately leading to what we have been talking about, an unsanctioned match between him and Ciampa at Takeover, where if he loses, he's gone for good, or where if Gargano loses, he's gone for good. But if Ciampa wins, he kind of just gets the satisfaction of beating the absolute living hell out of his boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's got a job. He's got nothing to lose.
What are you gonna do?
So wait.
Yeah.
Gargano gets his job back if he wins?
I don't think they. I don't know if they said that. I think,
but it's just the war to settle the score.
Essentially,
yeah.
Somebody correct me on that. Our screen and way that we showed it, we couldn't quite hear it. But people were. P.W. Gregory says people were moaning about the new crowd, wishing that they'd go back to Full Sail. Well, after not listening to this crowd, I want all of those people to suck an egg.
Yeah,
I totally agree. As we were watching the show, I just very loudly said, "F you, Full Sail! Shut the hell up!" Because there are some times when, oh god,
it just sneaks up on you sometimes.
It really does. I'm just full of hot air. There were some times when a lot of people, or even just one person, shouted something out and it was like, "Oh, we're back here again." But that's fine. I think it's ultimately Full Sail's fault for the way that NXT crowds act, and they're just not a good example all the time. It's unfortunate. Yeah, Sharkosaur confirmed and PW Gregory confirmed they did say Johnny gets his job back. Okay, all right. I mean,
sure,
great.
I guess since the referee admitted that like there was outside interference that they didn't see live, and I mean, I guess since there were extenuating circumstances in the loser leaves town match, that William Regal could have just reversed his decision.
Yeah, it could have been that easy.
Could have been Gargano wins that match by disqualification. Like, he was probably watching the match as it happened. You know.
No, he was out to the loo. You know what? Speaking as people who've been backstage for an NXT show, nobody's watching.
General managers have absolute authority, except when they don't.
Exactly, precisely. It's like, oh, so I don't know
when it was convenient.
I don't know what to do. I mean, it happened. I wasn't out there. I couldn't say anything about it. And how many times have we seen a general manager or a person of authority come out and say, no, not like this?
Start the match. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to know why? Because Regal. He knows money when he sees it. He's like, I'm going to make money off of this.
Red equals green.
Exactly.
So unsanctioned match, which we all knew was coming, although unsanctioned matches are usually dumb and bad.
I mean, the last one we saw was Triple H and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania last year.
Was that an unsanctioned?
That was an unsanctioned match.
Even though there was a referee and stuff.
Even though there's referee and
Okay.
stuff.
Well,
It was a match.
yeah.
But I mean, they didn't get the approval of the Florida Sports Commission, so they kind of just wung it. They winged it.
They wung it.
What did you think of the Stinger? If you want him to be gone for good, you're gonna have to do it yourself.
Perfect. It was the only part that was well mic'd too.
Yeah, we were hearing a little bit of that infamous Florida wind going. You know what they call Orlando? The Windy City.
Mm-hmm.
It's well known for that.
And speaking of the Windy City, we'll be at the Paris of the North, New Orleans, the gateway to the West.
Yes.
Biggest little city in the world.
Mm-hmm. Land of a Thousand Lakes.
We'll both be there.
Yes.
So if you're going to be in New Orleans, say hello. We will be at TakeOver most likely.
Yeah. I'm still kind of finalizing my schedule. Do you want to Rickle? I've got a Rickle.
I will for sure be at TakeOver. I don't know if Mark will.
Do you want? No, but seriously,
Sure,
just do you want to Rickle?
If but if you see us in New Orleans at any point, say hello.
I'm primarily going to be at WrestleCon. I'm essentially going to be Sean's Xbox. I'm going to be his page. I'm going to be taking notes and standing by for any podcast matters that may be. So if you're going to be at WrestleCon, you want to go say hi to Sean, I'll be there too. Come say hi. Though there's a lot cooler people at his table than me. Kevin Nash, Al Snow, and Mean Gene Okerlund. Don't buy him a drink; he'll already be toasted. And I say that with the utmost respect. And then Sean's Xbox also got a 9 a.m. signing at Access. I'm going to be there, so if you're going to be at Access, then come say hi. I'm just going to be getting some B-roll and while I'm out on the floor. So yeah, come say hi. And if you're at TakeOver, like Bill said, he's definitely going to be there. I'm most likely going to be there. Hobo will more than likely be there. We're just not going to be there as a group, unfortunately. I still want to be able to go to an NXT event, the three of us, and have a jolly
Absolutely.
old time.
Yeah.
Let's see. Slender's Mambo says, "Do you like to do it yourself?" Classic, nice. Dorian said, "I had a heart attack. I thought the show wasn't on tonight." There's a little bit of a scheduling mishap with the actual YouTube scheduling of it, but we got it fixed. There was another comment that I saw here that I wanted to point out. Slenderous Mambo saying Kathy Kelly was on point tonight and looked great doing it. It was great to see Kathy back in NXT. I'm really really happy that she's getting a chance to be back on NXT television because she likes being down there, and hopefully we'll see more of her because she was all over the show.
I mean, Kathy isn't on television a lot, but she's all over WWE programming all the time.
Yeah, YouTube, social, WWE.com.
She has a weekly or daily YouTube show at WWE,
almost daily, if not
like
daily.
WWE Now or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, WWE Now is the name of the program. If you're not subscribed on YouTube, you'll see it posted on WWE's Twitter. So, but we highly recommend you subscribe to their YouTube anyway. If you're not, you're probably weird, but that's fine. The last thing that I wanted to say about Gargano and Ciampa, do you think that Gargano getting his job back in NXT is good for him career-wise, or do you think looking up to touring, looking up to 205, looking up to Raw, SmackDown, do you think that's a better fit for him?
I think in a dream scenario, I think the best thing that could have happened is Ciampa and Gargano. Gargano lost his job because of Ciampa, so Regal works out a deal where they have a match to settle it at WrestleMania. I think that would have been the dream option for me. Is he lost his job, it's for good, but he hasn't lost his spot as a hot prospect. He's now a free agent, so everyone would theoretically want him if this were a real sporting league and a real thing. Everyone would want him. WWE would be like, "Oh, he's available now. Let's snatch him up."
Yeah,
and then Regal would work out a deal where he says, "All right, you signed Johnny Gargano. here's how you can have the best match. I'll loan you Ciampa for a WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been the best possible situation, in my opinion. Is it keeps the stakes serious. Johnny Gargano really is gone. And the biggest, the longest running storyline of WrestleMania weekend gets to be blown off at WrestleMania. And then you don't have to do the unsanctioned match thing. You don't have to, I don't know. That's what I would have done if I had been in charge at all. Like, that's what I would have pushed for. But I think that it's going to be an awesome match, probably, because I think that they probably won't really, almost certainly have the most emotion of most matches at WrestleMania weekend. But I think both of these guys, I think Gargano shouldn't come back. And I think maybe the way to play it is Gargano moves up to whatever roster in WWE, and Tommaso Ciampa sticks around and maybe wins the NXT title at some point, and then next year Gargano comes back.
Yeah, and to your end about being a hot prospect, I'm surprised Drake Maverick didn't even put out a call.
Right.
It's like, we're trying to relaunch this whole thing.
Yeah.
I need this is the hottest free agent, and
he's clearly using NXT talent.
Yeah, and even more so that door is already open. But even just to have Johnny Gargano appear and look really mad about it, visibly showing that he's got unfinished business and he really doesn't want to be there. Could be. And still have a really great match on 205 Live to go, okay, all right, yeah, okay, I see myself being here. But then seeing Roddy come out, but he still has a relationship with NXT, or seeing Buddy Murphy come out and he still has a relationship with NXT, but he doesn't, and he has unfinished business, could have been a cool way to sort of further connect 205 and NXT. But yeah, either way, the match is going to be dynamite. It might steal the entire weekend, let alone TakeOver.
I'm sure it will.
Even though we finally got the confirmation, we talked about it a little bit a couple of weeks ago because WWE did. Regal announces the NXT North American Championship, which will make its debut at TakeOver New Orleans, which brings out EC3 with one of the most WWE but most character accurate themes that we've gotten since Becky Lynch's Irish Jig. And that's a joke. Please, it's a joke. But him talking about how he's in the 1%. It almost sounds like a new version of the no chance in hell. I'm in the top 1%. But he uses it as the top 1% of wrestling, but it also goes back to his finances, blah, blah, blah. He even puts his theme over. He puts NXT over. He puts the crowd over. And talks about the endless intelligence and kindness of Regal to be creating a championship just to reward it to him. And you know what? I would be totally all right with that. It's sort of like how Eric Bischoff gave Triple H the big gold belt. It's like, yeah, this is yours.
Yeah.
It's like, why not? He kind of earned it. But Regal's like, no, everybody has to earn their keep. So EC3 is going to be defending it, or not defending, but he's going to be fighting for it against 5 other dudes in a ladder match. Mm-hmm. Now, before we even get to all of the people that are in the ladder match, we've got EC3, a new championship, and a ladder match. Mm-hmm. How much?
And an unsanctioned.
And an unsanctioned. No, but I mean, just for that. It's EC3's debut for a new championship in a multi-man ladder match. Hype or no hype?
Super hype.
The most hype.
It's going to be awesome.
And
especially because I know who's going to be in it.
Well, no, they've announced it throughout the night, and we have all 6 competitors by the end of the night.
Oh, okay.
I think live. I don't know if they showed everything live to the crowd. It's okay, they did.
Well, by the end of the taping, everyone knew.
Yeah. So so we'll stay in this realm for a little bit because we got a little bit of Kathy and Regal sprinkled in all night. We found out that Adam Cole, in this order, Adam Cole, Velveteen Dream, Lars Sullivan, Killian Dane, and finally, ya boy Ricochet. And that's our 6 for this ladder match. Holy crap! We were hoping just for a Velveteen, Lars and Killian Dane is an amazing match.
Okay.
Adam Cole, EC3, even though that kind of has nothing really behind it, that's an awesome match and one we're probably going to be seeing in the future. And Velveteen Dream versus Ricochet's one was like, that singles match, cool, I'm down. But putting all those three into one match for a new championship, oh boy.
It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be lit, baby.
Who do you think is going to win it?
I really don't know because I'd say it depends on if Bobby Fish is healthy or not, ultimately, because I think if you have Undisputed Era with like full of belts, I think that's a good look for them. It also depends on what you want. Is this the workhorse belt? Is this their Intercontinental Championship or like the Gateway Championship or whatever?
They're all workhorse.
But that's the thing. So where this fits when it comes to that the championship landscape. I mean, also, because, like, Killian Dane, I want to see Killian Dane with a championship. He doesn't necessarily need it. Because he shows up in his nude best, and he kills everybody, and he says it. And when the camera picks it up, I am a little bit happier inside. But I don't know. I don't know. I just wonder what the plan for establishing this championship is. And I think Adam Cole, Ricochet, or EC3 just coming out the top and going like, no, I told you, and proving it. I could really see this going anyway because all 6 of these dudes are some of the hottest prospects in the company. What about you, Bill?
I think it's probably going to be either Ricochet or EC3. Dream would be great. I also think it has a lot to do with whether Almas retains because you can't really have 2 heels with the 2 singles titles. I mean, obviously you can, and it has been done, but I don't think that's necessarily what people want. I think that Ricochet. I think that the biggest reactions would be Ricochet or Dream.
Yeah.
But I think that the 2, just for whatever reason, I think the 2 most likely are Ricochet and EC3.
Depending on how the title match goes, the NXT title goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. I agree. Let me
also like giving it to EC3 gives EC3 something to do for a few months before the main title picture clears up. But then again, if Aleister Black wins, EC3 is probably going to be in the mix for the world title pretty soon. So, and
we also don't know if anybody is going up to the main roster after Mania.
Yeah, there's also that, I guess.
Like there's a couple of people that are in my that could definitely do it. I can't imagine them not bringing up Undisputed Era as a group, but I don't think that it's their time yet.
No.
Or I mean, it may be Sanity's time. Maybe that's the thing is if there's space for them. But in terms of looks, we've got Bludgeon Brothers in terms of personality and sort of presence. There's Authors of Pain, which have been rumored to be going up for quite some time. So yeah, whoever does finally go up, I saw somebody pull Lars Sullivan possibly being Braun Strowman's tag team partner. And just being like a couple of monsters, we're like, okay, sure, maybe. And whoever from NXT shows up in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal or the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal.
I think Lars is likely, I think Lars is definitely possible. I think that Velveteen Dream is super possible.
Yeah.
For going up to the main roster. I think that, and we're covering a lot of this week because I won't be here next week.
Yeah.
I also think that, Almas, he was in the Rumble and was in there for 30 minutes. So if he doesn't retain his title, he's probably pretty likely to go up. Like, Almas would be a good person to add to, like, say, the SmackDown roster.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. That's a good point.
It's not like Almas is ever going to be more ready than he is right now.
Yeah,
and then you also get, like, Vega on television and, like, bring back managers. And...
Yeah. But then it's like, will there ever be a payoff for Vega and Candice?
Probably. I mean, there's a whole other set of tape. Like, they're going to do the tapings.
Yeah.
Like, they always... like
it's never a clean cut.
Ty Dillinger was still doing NXT stuff for, like, 3 months.
Yeah. So. That's a good point. And he even did...
look at him now.
He did a takeover. Yeah, he was on TV.
Yeah.
Tyler Breeze wrestled his 1,000th match last night.
Wow.
Yeah. He did a thing today where he was like...
roster or his career?
Just in general. He said, this is wrestled my 1,000th match.
That's awesome.
Give me a number and I'll tell you what that match was. I'm like, damn, all right.
Ty Dillinger or Tyler Breeze?
Breeze.
Oh, okay.
Breezy. Let's look through here. Some people are asking, has WWE confirmed that Cole would be pulling double duty? No, they haven't, but that's what we all kind of assume. A lot of people picking Xeno Hour picking Dream, Slenderous Mambo picking Dream, Marie Dream EC3 or Ricochet. That's a couple of people. Mr. O'Shea will be awesome. Lars looked like he was gonna murder someone tonight. Agreed. Don Dorian says, I sort of want to see Lars and Killian killing each other with the Lars finisher off the top rope or through the ladder. Oh, gross. Gross. Then we're going into all different.
I'm starting to think all these freak accidents are intentional.
There's not so much an accident. You know, who knows?
Sensing foul play.
Yeah. It's a clever naming condition. Yeah, that's. I mean, Takeover was already looking to be pretty huge, and this six-man ladder match was made even more so. We got a little bit from Charlie Caruso in the NXT headquarters. I don't know what you called it. Giving us a little bit of an update on the Dusty Classic. We heard from TM61 claiming that AOPs just might be the hurdle that they can't get over, and they were talking about a change of attitude possibly being in order. Maybe we're gonna start seeing a different side of TM61, perhaps. But their promo was interrupted.
Maybe they will start kneeling.
No, but they said that they don't do that.
But then they clearly do.
Damn
it. Because during their entrance, they kneel.
They're showing what's possible on their own accord.
No.
No.
By the way, so the music that was playing all throughout the episode, especially when they were talking about the Dusty Classic and not the Dusty Rhodes theme song.
Yeah.
All that music was like absolutely 100% the music from Tilt-A-Whirl by Insane Clown Posse.
But I mean, it's also American Dream's music, just an instrumental version.
It's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it is not. It's got like electric guitars, and it's not the Common Man theme song.
It's, I believe it's an updated version,
a remix,
a remake of it. But it's supposed to be a sound alike.
That's fine because it's just the music from Tilt-A-Whirl. By the way, I saw Insane Clown Posse on Thursday. It was the best.
Hype.
Even if you hate ICP's guts, go see them live because they put on the best live show you can possibly.
They're like Guar.
It's incredible, dude. They're not here to waste your time. Mm-hmm. They come out, they do like a little bit over an hour, play like 30 songs, throw soda everywhere, have choreographed dancers, confetti cannons. They threw streamers. It's the best. Just go.
Oy vey. It's just like, be ready, have a burner outfit. Shoes,
bring a Ziploc bag for your cell phone, and bring a change of clothes.
Here you go. And you're set.
That's what I do.
We got that promo interrupted by Ember Moon and Shayna Baszler with Sarah Amato between beating the crap out of each other and having to get pulled apart. Mm-hmm. And this is a cool way of something that they've been doing the past couple of weeks of sort of double dipping on promos.
Hey, there's someone else who's probably going to go up after WrestleMania.
Ember Moon? Yeah. Where do you want to see her show up?
I mean,
wherever Asuka isn't.
Yeah, I think that's the best. Keep them apart for most of a year or a year, and then, I mean, Asuka's probably going to lose to Ronda Rousey next year at WrestleMania. But then, after that,
I mean, that's still a huge streak.
Yeah, for sure. Unprecedented in our era of professional wrestling.
Definitely, yeah, especially with how much life
She's
work
gonna have
there
to
is.
Lose sometime, guys, and I mean, there's a strong chance that like next year's Ronda Rousey match could be like the real main event of WrestleMania, and like how much better would you want Asuka's streak to end than in that for real main event of WrestleMania?
And then some people maybe complaining about, well, these aren't the people that I wanted in the main event. The people that have been there a little bit longer and have worked towards it. And
I get the complaints, but like she has to lose at some point. There's no one, if she remains undefeated through this WrestleMania, there's absolutely no one in the company who has shown themselves capable of beating her, with in Ember Moon's case, several chances to do so.
Yeah.
So like, why not have like the legitimate, like most badass woman who's ever been in sports, like beat Asuka, like with a year of pro wrestling under her belt.
Yeah, and it makes sense, and I look forward to it. It being the main event in New York makes sense. I just wonder what they're gonna do for a year of television. Of like, is Ronda gonna be undefeated too? Is Asuka, like, how are they gonna keep that undefeated streak going? And no offense to the performers involved, but interesting. How are they going to keep making it so it's not like a false finish or a DQ or no contest or this or that? And I'm interested in seeing what they do.
Well, you can have her go through like, so you can spend like 8 months of having her go through like everyone on SmackDown Live, a bunch of special guests, a bunch of returns, like treat it like NXT treated it at times. Where you had Mickie James come in, do that for 8 months. 4 months, like after, like with 4 months to go until WrestleMania, switch her to Raw, have her win that title too, so that she holds both belts. Like, that's how to keep it interesting.
Yeah,
is like have her be like, there is no one who can beat her.
She's unbeaten. She wins the Royal Rumble again.
She won't if she's holding the belt. But that was, I was at first going to say that.
But if she holds the SmackDown belt, she enters the
Royal
Royal Rumble.
She has to challenge herself.
Not that she challenges herself. She challenges the Raw champion.
Got it.
And then then that's Rousey, and then they go champion versus champion possibly, and then whoever wins.
That makes
something like
sense.
that.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about NXT anymore. Anyway, let's talk about the Street Profits versus the Authors of Pain. Speaking of pain, this was painful. I was real sad. It was kind of a quick and easy way for our boys.
It's just a little bit shorter than the Street Profits versus Heavy Machinery match,
a little bit
for some reason.
Yeah. But Montez, like, despite not being in the match, he made the most impact because he got slapped in the face, tagged in Dawkins. Dawkins showing some serious power against two huge dudes and showing why he belongs in that fight. But ultimately, it was Montez getting hype on the side of the ring, offering Ellering a sip of the cup of greatness, it getting slapped out of his hand, and him being distracted by Ellering. That led to their loss. I was really sad about it. Because while I'd say it is a decisive win for the Authors of Pain, there's still, like, Montez wasn't in the match at all. You know, it was almost like a handicap match. Was this how you saw the match happening?
No.
20 minutes into the show.
This whole tournament's been super weird. Like, what? I still don't understand why the Street Profits beat. I mean, I love Street Profits, but I still don't understand why they beat Heavy Machinery so quickly. Especially if the payoff to that was going to be them losing to Authors of Pain so quickly.
And so, you know, weird. You know, like Montez not even getting in the match, whereas at least with, I figure it's just to equate it to like a Brock Lesnar and a Goldberg, where it's like here are two giant teams that are going to give you a really solid 5 minutes, and it's going to be heavy hitting, and it's gonna bruise you even though you're watching. And no offense to the Street Profits, because the character work is always great, and Montez is great on the side of the ring, but I think I agreed. I don't know why we're here if this was the end result where we could have had it. I think the Authors of Pain would have looked like they would have earned it more if it was against a Heavy Machinery type team.
Sure.
Yeah. Down with AOP. Matt J. Hendricks asking, why are the WWE acting like there was a Dusty Classic last year when there wasn't one? True. Agreed. Weird. It's just a lot of tournaments. AOP goes on to the finals, and after this we get Lars Sullivan versus poor, dear, sweet, innocent John Silver, who
dear departed John Silver.
Yeah. Much to going to the land of the dead, like Deonna Purrazzo ahead of him.
That's true.
May she rest in peace. Just thrown around and beaten to hell, chopped to hell, clubbing blows to the back of the head. And ultimately, what I like from that we've been seeing a little bit more is not just, I'm going to beat him up and then, all right, finish your time. But it's like, show of strength, show of strength, show of strength, or show of speed, show of strength, show of this, show of that. The combination finishes. And this was a military press slam, which was done with disgusting precision, and even just dropping Silver to the shoulder, probably got all of the wind knocked out of him, and then being slammed on the ground again, and diving headbutt, where it's like, you go for a pin after the military press slam. Nope. Go for a diving headbutt. Go for a pin. Nope. Then it was the freak accident, and then it was the win. Like, no offense to John Silver, but going into this, you didn't like his chances already. Now that Lars Sullivan is back, now that he's in the six-man thing, what do you want to see for him? Like, he's not in your pick for the championship, but where do you want him to go after TakeOver?
John Silver.
John Silver's going to get called up to 205.
Check out John Silver's stuff. It's really good. He's in the
he's great.
He's in the Beaver Boys. He's in Chikara Wink. Where do I want to see Lars Sullivan go?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think probably main roster. SmackDown can use a monster.
SmackDown could use a monster.
And you don't want to have him on Raw when Braun Strowman's around, but maybe you do want him on Raw when Braun Strowman's around.
Yeah,
but
because I mean, if we're losing Kane, Big Show doesn't resign. Probably
you just
won't.
have to be careful about how you handle Lars on the main roster, because I mean, people give Riot Squad crap for just being the crappier version of Absolution. Not my words. Lots of fans' words.
Yeah. Especially so rapidly in succession.
You don't want to see someone as cool and good and unique as Lars Sullivan get tagged as just like the SmackDown Braun Strowman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And on Raw, it would be something of you tease it early on to go, oh, I want to see these two guys fight, or you put them together. You slap them together and you keep them together for a while until it eventually boils over, and then they fight each other.
Well, maybe you just put Lars Sullivan on TV and you call him Bray Wyatt. And you say, this is what happened after the lake.
Yeah, this is the soul has entered.
Look,
the essence of Bray Wyatt has entered Lars Sullivan. Yeah, that kind of shit. Whoops. But yeah. Pepsi Fan 24 is saying main title picture at the very least. That's not too bad.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't really challenged for the title yet.
He's been
in the number one contender matches.
Yeah,
but he hasn't really had a title feud.
Do you think that the being put in the North American Championship picture is a detriment?
No,
it's a step down.
He doesn't get called. No, because if you don't call him up, then you have the option of having Lars Sullivan challenge for either title. Because if he doesn't win the North American title, he has a claim to challenging for the North American title because he was in the match and there's no pinfalls. He didn't necessarily lose the match. He just didn't get the title. And if however they're choosing to align Lars, you can have him go for the world title. You can have him be Aleister Black's first big person to overcome if Aleister Black wins the title. Like, there's a lot of ways you can go. I think if Aleister Black wins the NXT title, I think the logical person to take it off him is Velveteen Dream. But that's like a year down the line, or most of a year down the line. Because that's, Velveteen Dream had to fight, give his all to have Aleister Black respect him. And to have Dream eventually be the person to take the title off Aleister Black, I think is the perfect culmination to their story. Because I think that no matter what happens with Aleister Black and however long he's in NXT, I think that Dream's gonna be his first and possibly always like greatest rival. Yeah. And I think that that's just a perfect story to tell.
I can agree with that. I can see that. I think fans are chomping at the bit to have them go against each other again. And instead of rushing into it, having Aleister win the championship at New Orleans, and then everybody go, oh well, I want to see this thing, and maybe that's not Brooklyn, maybe that's Los Angeles, maybe that's TakeOver Los Angeles for Survivor Series weekend.
Guys, you can tell I'm sick because we've stayed like entirely on topic this whole episode.
It's really weird.
Wieners.
There you go. Hogs. I just want to let that silence play out just for an extra couple of beats. Dakota Kai is out for nothing because we cut to the parking lot where Andrade Cien Almas is beating up Aleister Black, where he's been waiting for him the entire night. Drowns him a little bit in that ice chest.
He dunked him in the Siege Perilous of, not the Siege Perilous, that's the mirror in the locker room. He dunked him in the nefarious ice chest, which, as you'll recall, Nikki Cross found out was Asuka's only weakness. So that ice chest is officially part of NXT canon now.
Yeah,
it's
in the book, actually. If you pick up the book,
filled with like hydrochloric acid or something. Oof. Because if you'll notice, there's never any drinks in there.
It's just ice. Oh yeah, maybe. But yeah, Almas ends up bringing him out to the center of the ring, hits him with a chair, sits on him, and is just shouting "Yo soy el campeón, respétame," and cool, beating each other up.
Do you think he did respete el?
Somebody touch my respect. I'm sorry. But yeah, Dakota Kai, even though she was rocking a sweet denim jacket, didn't get a chance to perform tonight. But I mean, a little bit more fire coming out of Almas and Black as we go into one more week of NXT TV into TakeOver. Last match of the night was Sanity versus Strong and Done, or Potty, as folks in our chat call the team. And one of the things that I have to say about their matches is anytime these past two rounds, it's just also weird that, hey, all of a sudden they're in and they're winning and they're in the finals, like adding to the weirdness that is this Dusty Classic. And yeah, we were talking about, hey, what about a makeshift team? There's no makeshift teams. It's just a bunch of things. But anytime
the makeshift team won the first Dusty.
Exactly. And it's sort of like a staple of Dusty is just putting two guys together that would probably work pretty well together. And the thing about their matches is I always come out of it more interested or wanting to see more from their opponents, not necessarily from them.
Yeah.
Because we've seen a lot of them over the past year, and that's not to say that they're any slouches, because Pete Dunne's career in the UK division has been anything, nothing lower than stellar, nothing lower than phenomenal. And Roderick Strong has put in a hell of a lot of work over this past year. So to give them an additional feather in the cap of, and also like storyline wise, they're kind of mad at Undisputed Era, so it's like, yeah, I want to see them beat them up. But I was talking about it last week. Oney and Tui had a hell of a performance last week, and I just want to see more of them if they show up in the rumored 205 Live tag team division. God, would that be a wake-up call for some of the guys on 205 Live. And with Sanity, you know, these were also former tag team champions that we saw beat the hell out of a myriad of different people, and they haven't been in the limelight as much. And it's like, oh, this was a great team together, and I want to see more of them. What sort of vibes did you get from this match? Is it weird that these are the guys that are heading into the finals against former takers of the classic AOP?
Yeah, it's just, again, the tournament's super weird. It's super weird that a makeshift team that was thrown together like legitimately at the last minute would not only be advancing to the finals, but like pretty easily beating the former tag team champions.
Yeah.
Like if tag team wrestling is to be believed at all, two people who are a tag team should have a natural, very big advantage over two people who aren't a tag team.
Agreed.
Also, like, it gets even weirder. Like, such a weird tournament gets even weirder by all of the booking of people outside of NXT, because, like, if Roderick Strong's losing UK title matches to Pete Dunne and then losing qualifying matches for tournaments on 205 Live, he can just be put in a tag team with Pete Dunne and beat former tag champs. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like,
it's weird.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like, you have all these people going all these places and like losing here, winning there. Like, there's really no rhyme or reason. The
foregoing, like, I figure the Dusty Classic is a way to get every tag team on before some people get called up, some people get moved around, some people get put here, some people get put there. But if the end result was to make the storyline with Dunn and Roddy and Undisputed Era, just have 2 tag team matches, you know? And people in chat are pointing out, and we were pointing it out here. Yeah, there was a makeshift team that won the first Dusty Classic, and that makes sense, and that was great, and it led to a great storyline.
They beat another makeshift team in the finals.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was Corbin and Rhino. Yeah. So, and we were mad then that they beat the Revival, because the Revival is one of the best tag teams in the damn business. But with it, all of this is just it's only a 2-tier tournament or an 8-team tournament, which is so quick that it. Yeah, it was. This was just a really weird, fast-paced thing
weird
to
timing.
get people on
it
TV.
It was dumped on us like the week before it started. Like,
Yeah,
the Dusty's going to be happening, and like, it's almost like it's cool that they're putting the Dusty on WrestleMania weekend, but it kind of like it almost does it a disservice of like we could have. I don't know. It's just all weird, man. I don't know. Like,
it's all very weird, and it's one of those things where it's like, cool, if you want to use this for a storyline, start with it, you know, lead with it, be the thing of, let's have all of these tag teams. Like, why aren't we on TV so much? You skipped the Dusty Classic last year. Why the hell haven't tag teams had a time to shine?
There were way more teams last year.
Yes, there were.
DIY was still together, Revival was still down, like Mustache Mountain wasn't injured.
Yeah. It was a lot of things leading to this, and yes, I know that Fit and Joe won the damn first one. I love you.
Keep saying it,
but it's just weird and shoehorned and bizarre, and I don't. The match was fine.
Sure. They're all good people in a good match.
That's the thing is all of these talents are phenomenal, and so when both of these matches are for, like, the Dusty Classic was held under such high regard the last 2 times, where we got a toy, you know, featured as the finals of the match at the last tournament, whereas this is like, yeah, I guess, and then the added wrench into it of Bobby Fish being injured. It's just weird. You gotta admit, it's a little weird. Oh boy. Yeah, they just did it because Undisputed Era don't have opponents for Mania. No, Bobby Fish got injured on the live circuit after they announced the tournament. The tournament was already, like, started to be taped, and then Bobby Fish got injured. So yeah, it's a weird timing thing. Oi boy. I'm just gonna stick with that. But yeah. Before we go, I've had this piece of paper in front of me, and I feel really bad for neglecting it because I really like this podcast that I'm about to tell you about. I know that you want to have fun, learn, and grow in all areas of your life. I know that. I know you chat. I'm very familiar with all of your business. And for those of you who are new, or for those of you who don't know, there's a podcast that I want to tell you about, and it's Conversations with Maria Menounos. It's the podcast edition, and it's hosted by the founder of AfterBuzz TV, Maria Menounos, and it drops every Friday on iTunes. It features celebrity and influencer interviews, along with secrets and tips on how to be better in all aspects of life. Maria being frequently involved with the WWE herself, there are WWE guests. Go back and check them out. I know Natalia's been on the show. I know Stephanie's been on the show. But from health, wellness, to career, relationships, finances, and more, let Maria be the big sister that you've always wanted. So just go to iTunes and subscribe to Conversations with Maria Menounos for free. Be sure to rate and comment, and when you do, let Maria know that it was the NXT team that sent you there. That is Conversations with Maria Menounos, podcast edition. Make sure to check it out. And the last thing that I kind of want to do before we sign off, Bill, since you're not going to be here next week, we don't know if we're going to be here next week. I wanted to know, what are you looking forward to the most? What is Uproxx's presence going to be like at Mania weekend? And anything else that you would want to mention?
We'll be all over. Brandon Stroud and I will be in New Orleans. We're for sure doing TakeOver. We're for sure doing WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. We may not see you at WrestleMania because we'll probably be in the press box for most of it. I'm going to try and get to Joey Janela's Spring Break Midnight show on Friday.
Okay.
We'll be doing Access sessions. We'll be doing WrestleCon. That's probably where we'll be spending most of our time is Access and WrestleCon.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you see us, say hello. We love to see you. Check out uprocks.com. Follow me on Twitter at Sundown Motel for keeping up to date with us. Follow with Spandex on Instagram and Twitter, because that's where we'll be posting a lot of social stuff that we'll be doing from the fun stuff over the weekend. Make sure that you're checking out the McMahon Splitting with Spandex podcast. Today we had a nearly hour-long conversation with Kevin Sullivan, one of the greatest minds in the history of pro wrestling.
Yeah, dude.
Really amazing interview. Got to talk about a bunch of WCW stuff, just a bunch of stuff in general. He gave his thoughts on WWE changing the name from the Moolah Classic. He had some pretty interesting, you know, personal history with some things that happened there. So check that out with spandex.com. And yeah, seriously, say hi if you see us, because we love to see people all the time. And I'll be hanging out with Mark and Sean Waltman as much as I possibly can all weekend.
I look forward to it. That's one of the things about Mania Weekend is everybody's always so busy, even though it's sort of like this major crossroads of people from all over the world, and people that you may talk to online, people that you may only know from Twitter and Instagram and websites and podcasts. But all of a sudden, all of these people are in one. Sometimes, in terms of WrestleCon and Access, they're all in one room, or WrestleMania, they're all in one stadium, and everybody is sharing in these amazing events that, whether it's WWE, whether it's Lucha Underground and Impact, whether it's Joey Janela, whether it's Defiant, whether it's whomever.
Matt Riddle's Bloodsport.
Bloodsport.
Impact versus Lucha Underground. Like, there's so much stuff to be done.
Yeah, and so much stuff to check out. As Bill mentioned, I'm going to be with Sean Waltman all weekend at his booth at WrestleCon, and then I'm also going to be going with him to Access on Saturday morning, 9 a.m. So if you're going to that session, please make sure to stop by and say hi. Wait in line. Come say hi to Sean. Take a listen to our show. Today we had JR, good old JR, Jim Ross. He came in very tired from the New Japan event over the weekend and still gave us about 50 minutes of his time. And it's a wonderful conversation if you're a fan of New Japan. It's a wonderful conversation if you're a fan of JR or of Sean. There's a lot of fun stories that you may not know, that you may get to hear for the first time in that podcast. But yeah, I can't really speak for Hobo. I know that he's going to be in New Orleans as well. He's trying to get work. He's trying to get on shows. But he may be at WrestleCon a lot as well for that same reason. So if anybody is going down to Mania, please come and say hi. For more info, follow all of us on Twitter. Xenowauer in chat saying, what match should close TakeOver, CN Black or Ciampa Gargano? I think Ciampa Gargano should... no, it shouldn't. The ladder match should open the show.
I think Ciampa Gargano will go on last.
Yeah.
I don't agree that it should.
Agreed.
I think that the title match should go on last. But, you know, if they want to present it as, here's how they can put Gargano and Ciampa on last. Present it as though the NXT title match is the end of the NXT show.
Yeah.
And then say this non-sanctioned match is not, and like turn off all the NXT like
just
trademarking.
Yeah.
And have it just be like a black screen, like no backdrop, no ring announcer, like just do it.
That would be cool. That'd be a cool presentation thing.
And have it start in the overrun. Like have it be like
the right after the hour.
The NXT the NXT title match ends. You can even put the bug on that like it's going off the air, but then be like, stick around, fans. We have a non-sanctioned match coming up. Can even do it without commentary.
Jeez, just beating the crap out of each other.
Yeah.
Dondorian asks, is Hobo here next week? Maybe. I think he may be heading down to New Orleans a little bit early. And Joseph Boza reminds me, yes, on Women's Pro Wrestling Weekly this week, we had Taya Valkyrie in studio. Check that out. It was a great interview. And I also know that they recorded another interview, which is going to be airing pretty soon, which is absolutely fantastic. Thank you for joining us for this episode of the NXT After Show right here on AfterBuzz TV. Make sure to follow all of us at AfterBuzz TV. Make sure to follow me at Mark B. Donica. Make sure to follow the Hobo at True Hobo. And please keep an eye on Twitter on the hashtag NX Team. We'll announce whether we're having a show next week or not based on availability. But if we are, join us. If we're not, we will see you for our fun makeshift show that we have about NXT TakeOver that has now become a yearly tradition. So thank you so much for watching this episode of the NXT After Show right here on AfterBuzz TV. We will see you next week. Or in New Orleans. We don't know.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
We're gonna buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.